Alright, let us enter the Ambrose Manor, girls. Let's see what they want. Alright, let's go. Oh, no transition. Why there is a creepy vibe to this manor? Does this manor hide some horrendous secrets? I hope not. And where is the groundskeeper? I'm worried about him.
Okay, maybe not. It's so empty. Oh, Captain, something here don't feel right.
Yeah, I agree, Parvati, but we have to push through. Janitor? I wish I have a janitor robot, so I don't have to clean my own place. But even if there is a janitor robot in the future, I'm sure it will be above my pay range. I wouldn't be able to afford it anyway. Fuck! This is so bleak. The idea of the future where there are, technological breakthroughs that makes people's lives convenient, but I can't afford it. But I will not be able to afford it. Ah. Oh, food service mechanical. Oh, like the one in the hotel. Oh, what? Wilhelmina Ambrose. Unlock with kitchen keycard. Yeah, I got it from the groundskeeper's building, I think, storage, whatever. Domestic automechanical routine, Spacer's Choice. When life gives you lemons, consider it a free trial from your friends at Spacer's Choice. Main menu. Logs. Recent activity. User Wambros. Attempted to log into system. Final attempt failed. Locking terminal for 5 days. User Wambros. Attempted to log into system. 1 try remaining. 2 tries remaining. Routine maintenance logs omitted. Oh, okay. It was ascending. Okay. Ambrose activated dinner time protocol. Meal was woolly loaf. Ambrose activated dinner time protocol. Meal was 3 pickle salad. Ambrose activated dinner time protocol. Meal was boar's toast. Corruption detected in earlier logs. Omitting corrupted entries. Okay, so there are at least 3 people in this Ambrose family. Ambrose, H. Ambrose, and W. Ambrose, which I think is Wilhelmina, our current objective. Pantry list. Pantry stock. Last automated check was error. Null date defined. Saltuna fillet. Stock is spoiled. Please replenish. Woolly cow steak. Stock is spoiled. Please replenish. Mock apples. Stock is spoiled. Please replenish. Boars and beans. 13 cans remaining. Mock apple shake. 9 bottles remaining. Hack. Activate dinner time protocol. Dinner time protocol activated. Default meal initialized. Woolly loaf is now being prepped. Error. Kitchen prep process fail. Warning. Some or all ingredients are missing. Dish may not be prepared properly, or other errors may occur. Spacer's Choice is not responsible for bad taste, bad odor, food poisoning, or erratic behavior of automechanical units. What the heck? What is this? The kitchen.
Nice and easy.
Nice and easy what? Did you put something inside your nether region? Stogie Slim. Are you making something? No? Okay, never mind. Oh, what is this? A secret room behind the refrigerators? What is this?
Oh my law, this is just like that episode of Virginia Yang, Girl Detective, where the old fella dies and his nurse inherits his house. What if we find a body?
Virginia Yang, Detective Girl? What kind of show is that, Parvati? Okay, which one is Wilhelmina, which one is O. Ambrose, and which one is A. Ambrose? The little one must be Minnie Ambrose. Wait, so there are 4 then. Minnie, O. Ambrose, H. Ambrose, and W. Ambrose. But why are there only 3 people in the picture?
You got nimble fingers, Captain.
Do you want Aldervaris to finger you, Ellie? Just say so. Is that Gorgon proper? Maybe. I don't know. Hold on. Sorry about this. Corporation Service Award. A company man. Perhaps from Spacer's Choice. Pick up master bedroom keycard. Personal terminal. Dr. Olivia Ambrose. Okay, so O. Ambrose is Olivia. Along that wilderness of glass, no swellings tell that winds may be upon some far-off happier sea. No heavings hint that winds have been on seas less hideously serene. EAP. What does EAP stand for? Main menu, login. Select a user. Olivia Ambrose. Welcome user, Olivia Ambrose. Logs. Displaying 5 total entries. Please select from the following options. Okay, let's start from the oldest one. So the year 2324. Wait, the date is not in order. Oh, never mind, it is in order. Okay. February 1st, 2324. This morning I gave birth to a healthy child. Perhaps that's a strange distinction, to call her healthy, but after all I've endured to finally meet her, it matters. That she exists at all, against the odds, matters. I will call her Wilhelmina. Okay, so the daughter is Wilhelmina. So, if the little one is Wilhelmina, then which one is Minnie? Is Minnie not pictured? I'm confused. I will call her Wilhelmina after my late brother Wilhelm. I hope the law is kinder to her than it was to him. I hope for many things, truthfully, that she be smart and shrewd, that she be strong, relentless, undeniable. Most of all, I hope for her a steel spine, that she does not bend when Halcyon would break her, that she should be stronger than I. March 17, 2324. I must find Minnie a wet nurse. Ah, so Minnie is a nickname for Wilhelmina, I think. Okay, so Minnie is a nickname for Wilhelmina. Minnie is Wilhelmina. So the little one is Wilhelmina. Okay, Olivia is the mother. So who is H. Ambrose? The father. I must find Minnie a wet nurse. She demands to be fed throughout the day and night, and I simply cannot get a single thing done. The nurse will need to be exceptional, smart, educated, of means. Minnie must have the best start if she's going to survive the pit of vipers. That is the Byzantium elite. Oh, then there is the matter of a governess. I can't watch the child constantly, not if I'm to do my work. How soon must I begin looking? Naturally, she'll have to be exceptional as well. And exceptional Byzantines don't exactly grow on trees. I will persuade Harvey to investigate this for me. The man has little else to do. Okay, so the husband is Harvey, H. Ambrose. So this family are Byzantines. What are they doing here? Maybe they're hiding from their enemies? November 22nd, 2329. So it's 5 years later. So Wilhelmina would be 5 years old, right? I don't understand how anyone of ambition has time to keep a journal. I certainly don't. Yet here I am indulging myself. Minnie's influence, no doubt. Hold on, let me drink. My throat was so dry. Her behavior concerns me. She's clingy, emotional. At 5, she should be starting to show some personality, not crying for her mother when I leave for another stint on Gorgon. Okay, so this is not Gorgon, but just an asteroid near Gorgon, I guess. This must be the fault of Marie, her governess, as Minnie certainly didn't learn this behavior from me. I'll have to fire the woman. It's clear she's not capable of instilling in Minnie a correct understanding of how to behave. Harvey despairs of ever finding a governess who meets my preposterous standards. He and I went in circles on the issue for hours, but he came around to my thinking eventually. Why shouldn't I want what's best for my daughter? Maybe I'll fire him too. Oh yeah, contract-based marriage in Halcyon. So the standard for Byzantines are very high. Is it because the competition is so cutthroaty and tight? But I pity the children, in this case Minnie, who must be subjected to such standard at such an early age. June 5th, 2337. So 8 years later. 8 years later. So Minnie would be 13 years old then. 13 years old. I'm at my wit's end with Minnie. At 13, she should have already mastered basic chemistry, physics, and mathematics. Wow! Such a high standard. I mean, there are kid genius, there are kid prodigy, but not every kid is a genius, not every kid is a prodigy. Kids are different. But she can barely handle long division. She struggles to remember the simplest equations and formulas, no matter how many times her governess raps her knuckles. Oh, I remember this kind of corporal punishment. People, when they heard rap the knuckles, they think the knuckles got rapped until we got bloody or something. But it was painful. I mean, I could feel the pain, but it's not something that leaves a mark. It's just a short moment of ow. Okay, that's it. By the time well, maybe different countries, different standards. Yeah, at least in my place, it's the knuckle rapping didn't result in bleeding or even marks. It's just a quick slap, and I was like, ugh. And that's it. It's over. By the time I was her age, I'd already made dynamite in my grandfather's laboratory. Nice. The only thing Minnie's making explode is my head. Oh, which, okay, she's a woman, never mind. Her father asked why we don't just hand her to boarding school, but I abhor the thought of her surrounded by those coddled idiots. I would be worried sending my child to boarding school, but not because of being surrounded by coddled idiots, but because of the issue of bullying. I don't want to put my kid in a situation where he or she become the target of bullying. I don't want that. More alarming still, because at least in school, right? At least in school, when my kid got home, every day my kid got home, I can do my parent role to make my child feel comfortable, and then once the child is comfortable, I will ask questions about their school in the hopes that if there is problem, they will be open to me. But in boarding school, I won't be able to meet my kid every single day, right? And it will also be tough on my kid, assuming that he or she experienced trouble. She can only speak to me about it during the times that he or she comes home. And that means for the rest of the time, when the child is not home, they'll have to keep it all inside to themselves. I don't want to subject my kids to that. More alarming still, she's begun to show an interest in romance serials and painting. She may have a strong grasp of color theory, and she shows some promise with watercolors, but surely that's the result of her education in spectroscopy, not any innate skill. What value has art anyway? Well, I'm not the right person to talk about the value of art, but I'm in the opinion that art should be pursued as a hobby. If I have a kid and they're interested in arts, I will direct them to pursue art as a hobby, not as their main field of expertise. I want their main field of expertise something that can get them jobs with higher certainty, and then they can pursue art on the side as a hobby. And, not necessarily jobs, but maybe skills that will allow my child maybe to open their own business. But then, if they want to pursue art on the side as a hobby, be my guest, there's no problem. She gave me a truly dreadful painting of Francis this morning, and I haven't a clue what to do with it. Perhaps I'll stuff it in my desk. We'll have a good laugh over it when she's grown and finally come to her senses. I assume Francis would be the groundskeeper or the new governor. So governess or governor in Halcyon refers to babysitters, I think, or maybe tutor. Like those rich family where they have experts tutoring their children since young age. April 28th, 2348. So, wow, 11 years later. So 13 plus 11 is 24. So, 24 years old. Lucien appeared at the manor this morning. I thought him here for me, to finally wring my neck after our latest tiff, but no, it was much worse than that. He'd come to speak to Minnie. No need to guess why. She's taken it upon herself to manage the household these last few years. Since neither her father nor I have the time, or frankly inclination, under her watch, the staff's productivity has increased 35%, while reducing our costs an astonishing 67%. We've saved tens of thousands of bits. Harvey tipped Lucien off, I expect. Now he wants to bring her on to help manage the Gorgon facilities, which I refuse over Minnie's vociferous protestations. She cried after he'd left. I only wish that I could tell her why. Okay, so Olivia and her husband Harvey is doing something on Gorgon. Lucien is, I assume, someone who works in the same project on Gorgon. So after Harvey informed Lucien of Minnie's capability of managing the house, which then they take as her being capable of managing Gorgon, whatever project it is they're doing. It seems her father has no problem with Minnie managing the Gorgon facilities, and Minnie herself wants to But the mother doesn't want Minnie to manage Gorgon, and she has a reason for that. What is the reason? What were they doing on Gorgon? And why did Olivia Ambrose not want her daughter to be involved in whatever is happening on Gorgon? Hack. Deleted logs. Displaying total deleted entries 2. Please select from the following options. October 14th, 2348. How did I raise such a willful daughter? Hold on, I'm thirsty. How did I raise such a willful daughter? She's no longer requesting to join the project. Okay. She's using the same word I was using, project. But demanding. I'm ready. I can help you. It's what I want. She doesn't know what she's asking. Gorgon is not safe. Compound X is in the air. It's infected the water and the food. It's no longer just the test subjects and the laboratory techs in danger now. Even the general staff are beginning to feel its effects. Even I feel it. I'm tied up in knots. I know what I must do. The only way I can persuade her away, but it'll kill me to do it. Minnie, I'll say, you just don't have what it takes. You are too shallow, too simple, too weak. She'll hate me for it. I'm sure it will destroy her, but it will work. She'll be safe. That's all I care about now. Whatever is it they're doing on Gorgon, Compound X, test subjects, is this all related to the lifetime employment program? Or is it something else? January 3rd, 2350. So 2350, Minnie would be 25 years old, right? Wait, 25 or 26? I forgot. I forgot what age Minnie was during 2348. Harvey is gone. His body still alive, but the man I married is dead. Ah. He broke into my office and stole the last of my release candidate ampules, busted the door to splinters in his withdrawal fury. I'd chartered a shuttle to bring him to the facility for medical care, even convinced Priyantha to oversee the transfer. He didn't want to, was worried it wasn't safe, but I begged him. Harvey killed the shuttle crew, Priyantha too, but the shuttle wouldn't take off without its pilot, and I couldn't stop his raging, so I left the ship on the landing pad for days, watched him tear it to pieces with his bare hands. He lost a lot of blood. I brought him inside once he'd finally passed out and shoved him into a stasis solution tube. My work did this to him. Me. I did this. I'll tell Lucien. Surely now he'll delay the release. Surely after this. So, whatever is it they're doing on Gorgon, Harvey was infected by it. Perhaps it's the Compound X? Nice. Compound X. Finally, a somewhat clean toilet. Well, it is clean. I mean, the walls showing its age, but at least the floor is clean. I like it. But where is the shower? This is such a waste of space. This big of a space and only toilet? Why not put a shower area here as well? What a waste of space.
I'll keep it down.
What a freaking waste of space. I'm angry. So I have to go there, not yet. Oh, this is the Spacer's Choice mascot, right? Okay, so the project is Spacer's Choice project. Interesting. Death certificate, Olivia Ambrose. Oh no! So Minnie is an orphan then. To Miss Wilhelmina Ambrose, this certificate affirms that you are the sole inheritor of the Ambrose estate, having drafted, filed, indexed, stamped, and unstamped the necessary forms to declare your mother legally deceased. Congratulations and condolences. This has been a long time coming. Even without access to your full inheritance, you have grown the Ambrose fortunes beyond this firm's wildest dreams. Bailey Clark, estate manager. Without access to full inheritance? What? Why? She is the child of Olivia and Harvey. Why doesn't she have full access to her inheritance? Maybe there's a problem with it, and maybe we can help her get her full inheritance in exchange for a percentage. How about that? Bailey Clark, estate manager. The firm? What firm? Spacer's Choice? Oh yeah, Spacer's Choice is owned by UDL, right? And UDL CEO, the chairman Charles Rockwell, was the one who wants to execute the lifetime employment program. So I think this project actually has something to do with the lifetime employment program. Maybe this Compound X is trying to change a human's nucleotides to be able to absorb enough nutrients from local halcyon plants and wildlife. But something went wrong, just like Eva Chartrand's experiments back in Cascadia and the research station. Why is it broken, the door? Oh, this must be the door that Harvey broke through. That was referred in the diary, the journal of Olivia Ambrose. To live alone in this big estate, Minnie must have been lonely. Can we ask her to come join our crew on the Unreliable? Not only in consideration of Minnie, but also we can use someone with her riches and wealth and her resources and her smartness and intelligence, right? Goodbye letter. Dearest mother and father, I've paced the halls of this gilded cage long enough. Since you won't permit me to help the family business, I'm leaving to start a business of my own. Am I too young for such ambitions? Perhaps, but that is the risk you take when you fashion a daughter in your image. Byzantium will welcome me with open arms. Won't that be a new sensation? If I ever return, it'll be to claim my rightful spot at the head of this family. Minnie. Please, 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 I hope Minnie did not grow up to be the kind of person that the antagonistic prodigy kid type. I hope she's not like that. I hope. Unlock with master bedroom keycard. Master bedroom. So this is Olivia and Harvey. For such a rich people with big estate, even the toilet is so very big. They didn't even think of having a bigger bed. Look, they had the idea of making this toilet so big, right? Everything so big. The hall, the rooms, the kitchens, everything big. Even the office is... Oh, hold on. Even the office is big, right? The bedroom is also big. But the bed itself, what the fuck is this? Compared to the size of the room. Okay, Halcyon.
Dear Wilhelmina, I hope this letter finds you well. No, it's too stilted. It sounds like I'm writing to request a loan. Dearest Wilhelmina, I regret to tell you... Law, no, that's worse. When have I ever called her dearest? She's my daughter. This should be easy. How can a mother not know how to talk to her own daughter? My love, I can no longer... For your safety, I must... Oh, hell. Even if she despises me for what I had to do, I should still be able to say goodbye. Minnie, I have to leave, and I don't intend to come back. I love you. I'm so sorry.
Oh. Oh, M. So this is Minnie's room. Yeah, of course, look. This is Minnie's room. Okay, here we are. Here we are, born to be king and princess of the universe. Okay. Miss Minnie, I mean Miss Wilhelmina, or should I call you Miss Ambrose? Lucky Montoya's dead, Miss Wilhelmina. So Lucky Montoya was doing job, he was contracted by her, I assume to get to the bottom of what is happening on Gorgon, but Lucky Montoya failed. But then who chopped up Montoya's hand and sent the recording and sent the hand to the Unreliable alongside the recording? I wonder who did that?
So who the devil are you?
The devil? What do you mean? Aldervaris, Captain of the Unreliable.
You don't say. Well, make yourself at home, Captain. I'm sure we have much to discuss. Do you see that glowing chunk of space rock? That's Gorgon. My birthright, my burden, and the bane of my existence. I hate to drink alone, and this is my third. So join me in raising a glass to Gorgon.
Your birthright? What do you mean? You want to toast the asteroid?
That's right. The Gorgon asteroid is pretty to look at, but evil to the core. I raise a glass to my adversary out of respect.
Evil? What do you mean, evil? It's a little early for me.
Early? My house runs on asteroid time, but suit yourself. The name's Wilhelmina Ambrose, but why not keep it short and call me Minnie? Save us all some time. Now, what brings you to my house, gorgeous? I take it you didn't come all this way for the beverages, the starry skies, or the pleasant company.
Gorgeous, do you want to bed Aldervaris? I'm here about a severed arm.
A severed arm? How positively ghoulish. You know this is a private residence, not a curio shop?
What is a curio shop? This arm came with a portable phonograph that mentioned you by name.
Really? Huh. Now this severed limb, did it have dark hair? Rugged knuckles? Chewed fingernails? A gunslinger's calluses?
I didn't look that closely.
The next time someone mails you a severed limb, you really ought to pay better attention. I can only think of one man daring enough to jettison his extremities on my behalf. Lucky Montoya is my personal freelancer. Fascinating man, very brooding and theatrical, always staring into space and twirling a bullet over his knuckles.
He's definitely not doing that anymore.
But if something happened to him... Oh dear. I suppose that makes him my former freelancer now?
Was he also your former bull? Sorry about your loss.
Thank you. But the people in my orbit come and go all the time. Occupational hazard. What a time for his luck to run out. We were in the middle of something grand, and I really can't afford another setback.
You should get over the bad news fast.
That's called a defense mechanism. I don't get attached to others if I can avoid it. Try it sometime. How would you like to be my new freelancer? There's been a recent vacancy, and I think you're well suited to the job.
Remember, play hard to get. That's negotiation.
Okay, Ellie.
You offer work to everyone who breaks into your home? Must be some kind of Byzantine tradition I ain't know about.
I'm looking for someone rough around the edges. A gorgeous, dashing scoundrel type. Incidentally, someone good with their hands.
Not only Ellie wants Aldervaris to finger her, now this Minnie also wants Aldervaris to finger her as well. What the heck? Gorgeous?
I like my employees well-groomed. Appearances are everything in high society.
Are you looking for a hired gun or a runaway model?
I'm looking for both. Remember, I'm rich enough that I can afford to be choosy. And I choose you, dear Captain. Allow me to lay out the facts, and you can decide for yourself if you want to be my chief investigator. My mother, Dr. Olivia Ambrose, worked for Spacer's Choice at the Gorgon Research Facility. She was brilliant, the top scientist in her field, until tragedy struck.
Go on. I'm not surprised. Spacer's Choice is one big accident waiting to happen.
I wish I could say otherwise. One day, Spacer's Choice shut down all research and evacuated Gorgon. Everyone had to scramble or risk getting left behind. It was chaos. Employees fled for their lives. Mother never made it home. I'm told she wasn't the only casualty that fateful day.
That must have been real hard on you, losing your mother all of a sudden like that. I'm sorry to hear it, ma'am.
Thank you. Ambrose ladies are supposed to be resilient to the unexpected, but this was especially hard on me. Mother's name has since been dragged through the mud. Spacer's Choice blames her for the collapse of Project Gorgon, and I just know they're lying.
Of course, filthy Spacer's Choice. Why would they lie? What did they say about her? Why would they lie? What did they say about her?
Everything you can imagine and more. Dereliction of duty, circulating anti-corporate memos, taking longer than average coffee breaks. The list goes on. Mother would not have allowed Project Gorgon to fail. Something happened on that asteroid, and my family took the fall for it.
Tell me about your mother.
I admired Mother, but we weren't close. She disapproved of everything about me, really. I couldn't measure up to her example. She didn't make time for us. I remember thinking that she never wanted a child, and never forgave me for being one, naive and irresponsible as I was.
Is that why you had her declared legally dead? Maybe there's another side of that story. Sounds familiar, Ellie. I want Aldervaris to choose number 5, but I also want my teammates to be involved in the conversation. So, unfortunately, I have to make Aldervaris say number 3. Sound familiar, Ellie?
Trust me, we are nothing alike.
A kindred spirit. Well, well, charmed. Today is full of surprises. Mother worked herself to the bone. She wanted to make the colony a better place, no matter who or what got sacrificed along the way. She never spared a thought for those of us who cherished her, who suffered for her idea of progress.
Did you two ever get along? Have you heard the recording that your mother made in the master bedroom? You know, I'm just thinking, if you haven't heard it, maybe you would like to hear it. Your mother's last message to you. Did you two ever get along?
We got close once. When I was a child, I enjoyed looking over Mother's shoulder, playing backseat chemist while she peered into a microscope. One day, she told me to leave before I broke something. Then, I got mad and broke something. Typical night in the Ambrose house.
Oh, that hurts my heart to hear, ma'am. My dad was real dedicated to his work, too, but he always let me help. Made me feel, I don't know, special. Like I had something to offer. I wish you could have had that with your mother.
Mother and Gorgon were made for each other. I had the misfortune to be stuck in the middle.
Ah, poor kid. What do you think happened on Gorgon?
I don't know. And Spacer's Choice won't say. They don't discuss anything that tarnishes their brand. Gorgon has a dark history. The project fell apart. Personnel were shuffled across the system. With Mother gone, now I'm all that's left.
I'm surprised Spacer's Choice is okay with Minnie going back to this estate, knowing that she's now rich enough to have the resources to investigate Gorgon. I thought Spacer's Choice would be ruthless enough to order the assassination of Minnie, so there is no chance for her to use her resources to investigate Gorgon. I guess Spacer's choice. Maybe it was an oversight on Spacer's choice part, or maybe, as ruthless as they are, they don't want to assassinate someone without justified cause, maybe? I don't know. Without a clear reason, I mean. But, you know, they're still ruthless, in my opinion. Where is your father in all of this? Well, your father is I don't know.
Father lost more than his job on Gorgon. I'll say no more than that.
Oh, yeah, he died,
The
I guess.
asteroid may look like a glittering jewel, but I assure you the resemblance ends there. Gorgon is poisonous to the core. One might even say cursed. I need your help, Captain. Project Gorgon killed Mother and disgraced the Ambrose name, and no one has been held accountable. Spacer's Choice buried the past like a dirty secret.
Wait, Harvey didn't die, he was put in stasis by Olivia. I remember the notes. Are you interested in justice, revenge, or both?
Neither. It's vindication I want.
Vindication?
Whatever happened on Gorgon wasn't Mother's fault. I simply need the evidence to prove it. We're
Okay.
going to drag the truth kicking and screaming into the light. Even if it means bringing ruin and humiliation to Spacer's Choice. All the evidence I need should be in Mother's journal. You can find it in her office on Gorgon, in the heart of the old research facility.
Okay, so she wants to clear her mother's name. First, I have some questions about this job.
I'm not surprised. Between the family drama and the corporate conspiracy, it must feel like you've stepped on a landmine. Speak freely, Captain.
Well, not really a landmine. Aldervaris is more incapable of handling dangers. She's a special woman. An outlier, an exception to the rule. Plus, with the help of the benefactors, she has become much more effective than she already is. Dealing with dangers, I mean. How did this investigation get Lucky killed?
You know as much as I do, I'm afraid. Spacer's Choice abandoned Gorgon, but the asteroid is far from unoccupied. Between the marauders, the wildlife, and whatever escaped the labs, danger abounds.
What? There are even marauders there? Okay. Wildlife, marauders, and whatever escaped the labs. Hold on, what escaped the labs?
Toward the end of the project, I heard Mother grumble about some test subjects running amok outside of their enclosure. I wish I could tell you more. Just watch yourself. If you aren't careful, you stand to lose more than an arm.
What good is your mother's journal to you now?
I suspect it will prove that corporate greed and incompetence were to blame for the calamity at Gorgon, and not Mother. Mother was a brilliant woman. Difficult, cold, unreachable even, but brilliant.
Could Spacer's Choice have taken the journal?
Spacer's Choice evacuated in a hurry, leaving a fortune's worth of equipment in their wake. Mother's journal would have escaped their notice. This is my last hope of redeeming the Ambrose name. I don't like my chances, but I have to try. And I need help. Your help.
Okay. Why did you wait before starting the investigation?
I didn't want to go anywhere near Gorgon. Once I exhausted all my options, the search led me back here. I even had Mother declared legally dead. Would you believe it took 5 years to process the paperwork?
Wait, I'm not sure I see the connection. Hold on. Does her being legally dead help you somehow? Well, her being legally dead means that maybe Minnie inherited the estate. So if Minnie went here, Spacer's choice maybe wouldn't be too suspicious of her intent because she's just occupying her family's estate.
It isn't as bad as you make it sound, but technically, yes. Mother's body is still on Gorgon. No body means no death certificate, which means no inheritance.
Oh,
I killed Mother, just on paper.
okay,
of course,
okay.
so I could claim my inheritance. We wouldn't be standing here if I didn't have access to the family fortune.
Damn. Wish I'd thought of that.
I once assumed the
Ellie.
mansion and the money would be enough to redeem the Ambrose name. But even in Byzantium, prestige must be earned, and it can so easily be lost.
Okay, so Olivia didn't get to evacuate Gorgon. She's still there, whether alive or dead. But not having her legally dead blocked Minnie from getting her full inheritance. Okay, now I understand. Are you saying you just want to break into high society?
You know, some people work hard just to break out.
Break back into high society, yes.
Break back. Why do you want that? Can you just enjoy your inheritance, invest it somewhere, and live off the interest for the rest of your life? I assume your family is very rich. I mean, if you can hang with the Byzantines, you are very rich, right? So I assume living off the interest of your investments would be very feasible. You will still be able to enjoy the finer things in life and live very comfortably. But maybe, like her mother, she is ambitious. Okay, her eyes are glassy and there's a bit of red. Is that because she was crying earlier? Or is it a sign of what? Sickness? Disease? I don't know. I thought you were trying to vindicate your mother.
I'm trying to do several things at once. None of them easy. The smear campaign against Mother was the work of cowards. I'm vindicating the family name for her, for the colony, and for my future.
I can understand for your mother and for your future, but what do you mean for the colony? Wait, what? What can you do for Halcyon?
At the very least, I can guarantee that we learn from our mistakes. A failure on the scale of Project Gorgon should never be allowed to happen. This colony is in trouble. The lunatics at Spacer's Choice are running the asylum, and we need better people to wield their influence. After Gorgon, I quickly discovered that the Ambrose name was cursed, for lack of a better term. I had no place among the decision makers. No seat at the table.
That's Byzantium for you. Gossip mongering's a bigger sport than tossball.
That is why I'm clearing the record and vindicating the Ambrose line. For Mother, for me, and for the generations who will one day inherit Halcyon.
Well, I doubt she has all the, even if she succeeded in doing this, I doubt she would have enough influence and power and resources to improve Halcyon. It takes more than one person to do that. And, not just more than one person, but allies in the right places, the right connections. Do you think your plan will work?
I know it will.
Uh,
I believe that covers it all. Are you ready to get started? We mustn't allow the trail to get cold.
I can't make any promises until I've seen Gorgon for myself.
By all means, go and see what you're up against. I'm certain Mother's journal won't go far. When you reach Gorgon, pack a weapon you trust. The corporate lockdown hasn't stopped the wilderness from squirming in through the cracks.
What did you tell Lucky about this job?
I told him everything I've told you. Just the facts. Maybe a couple of harmless embellishments. Why?
I'm trying to calculate the odds of this gig getting me killed.
It's sure to be 100% with that attitude. Still, you're smart to ask. Lucky spent most of our time together spinning a pistol around his index finger. Not sure he listened to any of my advice.
That sounds like Lucky, all right. The man loved to show off.
He had an aura of rugged individualism that was quite charming. Not that it helped him in the end. But you won't let me down, will you, Captain?
Maybe Minnie was disappointed that Lucky didn't spin his other pistol inside her. What can I expect to face on Gorgon?
I've never understood why, but Gorgon is teeming with marauders. They almost seem drawn to sorrow and misfortune. Then there's the test subjects, those who survived anyway. Ravenous creatures left behind like so much salvage.
Okay, that one line was interesting when Minnie said, "The marauders are drawn to sorrow." Ah. Interesting. I remember Parvati once said about no one had the initiative to cure them referring to marauders after Aldervaris fought some of them. So this really strengthens my suspicion that the marauders are not simply deserters who became bandits, but maybe there's something that influenced their mind. Interesting. The more I hear about this asteroid, the worse it sounds.
Perhaps we should cut the Q&A short in that case. I don't want you having second thoughts. There's a little saloon near Gorgon's landing pad, the Sprat Shack. Lucky was renting a room, so if you want to follow his trail, that would be the place to start.
I think I've heard of that place. Cheap whiskey, rough crowd. You'll love it.
Wait, what?
Oh, you think maybe they got a little mascot? Like a sprat in a tiny hat?
Just so we understand each other, money is no object. I'm willing to squander the family fortune if you get me what I want. Between your payment and any salvage you happen across, you'll walk away from this rich enough to buy a mansion of your own. How does that sound?
Hold on, there are people and businesses on Gorgon? I thought after evacuation, everyone's there is dead. Okay. What's the catch? There's always a catch.
The catch? No one's ever done this before, and the only person who tried is a corpse. Believe me, that's enough. Here's your nav key, Captain. Safe travels.
Wait, hold on. You said you didn't know what happened to Lucky Montoya, but just now you are certain that he's dead, a corpse. Are you hiding something from me, Miss Minnie? Maybe you don't need to hear this from me, but I'm sorry about your mother.
Spacer's Choice should be the one apologizing, but thank you. Sincerely. A word of advice before you go, Captain. Trust no one.
Not even
Mother's
yourself.
office is in the heart of the Gorgon facility. You're free to salvage anything that isn't nailed down. I only want what's mine.
Mysterious heiress, unexpected gainful employment. It's like something out of a detective serial.
It's not theft if she's giving us permission.
Gainful employment. Mysterious heiress.
Captain, charmed as always.
Tell me about that note you left in your bedroom.
Someone's been snooping around. Not that I mind. It reminds me why I hired you in the first place. For your keen eyes and scandalous disregard for privacy. When I left home, I wanted Mother and Father to know the conditions of my return. I would stroll through the entrance with my head held high, or not at all. I left this place with every intention of returning once the time was right.
Did you enjoy Byzantium?
When I arrived, I was the toast of the town. All fought for the honor of lighting my cigarettes. The attention was sublime. I opened a small firm to help young, impressionable heirs manage their family wealth. Business was good. For a while.
What happened to your business?
Gorgon happened. With Mother's downfall, so too fell my influence in society. I sold the business at a loss. Then I hatched a plan to restore the family name. That plan, as you're now well aware, is still in motion.
So the house was empty when you returned.
Yes. That wasn't part of the plan. Fall of Gorgon accelerated my schedule. I thought I would find success in Byzantium. Instead, I must look for redemption back where I began. Here, in these vacant halls.
That's all I wanted to know, thanks.
You reminded me of better times. I should be thanking you.
I had questions about your family.
The Ambrose family comes from old Earth money. We were pioneers, inventors, and chimerists. Always at the top
Chimerists?
of the field, never lagging behind. If there's anything else you'd like to know, speak on.
Old Earth money. Oh, so they have a long lineage of wealthy bloodline back from Earth. Your mother left an unfinished goodbye recording in the master bedroom.
A goodbye recording? I don't understand.
She must have known she was in danger.
Law, but I think you're right. Mother left that phonograph because she knew something awful might happen to her. She knew Spacer's Choice wanted her silence.
Could she be trying to warn you?
It's possible. But in the end, she never found the words. We have to find that journal, Captain. And when we do, Spacer's Choice will rue the day they crossed my family.
Are you sure you want to pick a fight with them? It's owned by UDL. UDL CEO is Charles Rockwell, and Charles is currently the chairman of the board. I read your mother's terminal. Her logs were interesting.
Ah, yes. I've scanned her old logs. But I'm afraid they haven't given up anything I didn't already know or suspect. If you have any questions, you can trust me to answer them. I gain nothing by leaving you in the dark.
Who's Lucien? Your mother didn't seem to approve of him.
Lucien was Mother's point of contact at Spacer's Choice. I'd call him high-ranking, but I don't think his job had a rank in the traditional sense. He once tried to recruit me to work on Gorgon, but of course Mother wouldn't hear of it. I never forgave her for that.
Because she knew it was dangerous. Why didn't Spacer's Choice overrule her?
And risk losing one of the colony's greatest minds to Auntie Cleo? I think not.
Ah, Auntie Cleo.
No. In their estimate, I'm certain Mother was worth 10 of me. They did the math, and I came up short.
Oh, okay, I see. What did they want you to do in Gorgon?
A little bit of everything, I suppose. Manage personnel, keep an eye on budgets, see that goals and expectations were well defined. Chemistry may be my passion, but Spacer's Choice recognized my knack for administration. I would have taken the job and perhaps even enjoyed it.
Back to the topic at hand.
Did anything else in Mother's terminal glue your eyes to the screen?
Her secret porn. Something drove your father mad. Olivia put him into hibernation.
I so wanted to avoid opening that wound. Now here we are. Father was exposed to some of Gorgon's more caustic chemicals. I don't know how, but I suspect that Mother brought her work home.
Where is he now?
I don't know. It's possible that Mother carted him off to Gorgon for her studies. That, or she killed him and buried him under the floorboards, or bricked him behind a wall.
What?
I wouldn't put anything past Olivia Ambrose.
Don't you care what happened to him?
He never defended me against Mother, never even tried to challenge her authority. Of course I care. I adored my father. But what's done is done. There's no two ways about it. Mother was vicious, and that's saying something in Halcyon.
So she didn't have any ally in the family, not her mother, not her father as well.
I don't know. That, or she...
Any chance that you were exposed to the same chemicals?
By that point, I was already living at Byzantium, trying to get out from under my family's shadow. You're very kind to consider my well-being, but if I'd been exposed, we'd be having a very different conversation.
Back to your mother's terminal.
Yes?
You ever mentioned that you enjoy... You never mentioned that you enjoy painting.
Of all the intrigue and mysteries surrounding my household, that is what interests you. I do enjoy painting. I haven't indulged in some time, but it's a pleasant enough diversion.
What would you call your style? Surreal? Expressionistic? What's your favorite painting?
I've always been partial to Truth Emerging from the Well to Shame Mankind by Jerome.
Jerome?
Painting speaks to me. It shows how nothing stays hidden for long.
Truth comes out from the well to shame mankind. What would you call your style? Surreal? Expressionistic?
I honestly don't think I've been at it long enough to have a style. Painting is something I enjoy on the side, not something I chase to perfection. We Ambrose ladies have a way of ruining the things we love by committing ourselves to them.
Well, thanks for the sharing.
Your curiosity is charming, but do remember to focus on the job at hand.
That's all about her terminal. I'll let you know if I find anything else.
You do that, and thanks for your attention to detail.
You come from a talented heritage. What interests you?
If Mother and I shared anything, it was our love of chemistry. Chemistry is a desire to understand matter, the very foundation of our existence. What Ambrose could ignore such a tempting lure?
That's all for now. Back to my other questions.
Yes?
About the job.
Ask anything you like, Captain. It's nice to have a competent partner for a change.
Are you saying Lucky Montoya isn't? Is there anything you aren't telling me?
I've told you everything I know. I trust you to investigate Gorgon and draw your own conclusions. If you can think of anything specific, all you have to do is ask.
We'll come back to this if I think of anything else.
Of course, my dear Captain. I look forward to it.
Captain, my captain. This house has seen better days.
Regrettable, I know. We used to have a staff to maintain the grounds. Not just auto mechanicals either. Real people doing real work.
Oh, so I guess the groundskeeper no longer work here. Okay. Explain the fake fish in the fake pond.
Father loved his salt tuna. He was an avid fisherman, you know. But that was long ago. When they moved here from Byzantium, Mother told me he was heartbroken to learn there was no sport. So she bought him a pond for his sad, lonely amusement.
Hold on. So there is no security in this estate. What if the marauders from Gorgon, have the curiosity to fly and land on this asteroid? She would be defenseless against the marauders. This is dangerous. Do you visit the rock garden much?
Not as much as I used to. Who has time to slow their thoughts and bask in tranquility? I prefer staring out the window of my drawing room, brooding on matters outside of my control.
Drawing room? Where is your drawing room? Couldn't you hire a new staff?
It's hard to find good help, and I'm not quick to trust anyone who'd work for me. Present company excluded. I can worry about upkeep once my family name is restored. Until then, this manor is a base of operations.
But what if you need something fixed, like the pipes? What if the pipe is bursting, leakage, electricity, short-circuiting, and walls crumbling, other stuff? What's with the Moon Man statue in your foyer? That's the Spacer's Choice mascot.
Hideous, isn't it? I've been meaning to have that thing removed. Maybe jettisoned into the sun. Spacer's Choice agreed to double Mother's research budget if she subjected her family to product placement. I swear those eyes follow me wherever I go.
Do you want it gone? Can we destroy it? That's all I needed to know for now.
Very well. If there's anything else, you have my attention.
Be seeing you, Minnie. Wait, first name basis now?
Be seeing you, Captain.
Alright.
Yeah, huh?
Something on your mind?
Can we destroy it? For Miss Ambrose? I guess not. She really has nerves of steel, not flinching even with that sound. Even with the sounds of gunfire. Oh, you startled me, Auto Mechanicales. Let's go. Maybe I should station the rest of the crew here for her protection. Assuming we succeed in doing our job, we won't be receiving payment if she's somehow dead because of the probability of marauders flying here and invade the estate. I mean, there's always a possibility marauders would land on this asteroid, right? Maybe I should station the rest of the crew here for Minnie's protection. Yeah. Can we fix this robot? Parvati, help him. Oh goodness, I spent 1 hour just to have that conversation.
Now, hold on. What happens if we hit the wall?
Most likely, the bullet will ricochet, which could be bad. Or hilarious. There's a tiny chance of a hull puncture, which would suck us into space one chunk at a time. bad and hilarious.
Ugh. Just imagining that makes me sick.
That's why we don't miss.
Don't worry, girls. The hull is very strong. Look. Very strong. Don't worry.
Hey, Cap.
Hello, Nyoka. Wait, where's Felix? Hold on. Oh, okay, there he is. Let's go to the Sprat Shack lead, whatever.
Welcome back, Captain.
What do you think about the whole...
How can I be of assistance?
What do you think about this, Ada? Okay.
I'll be here.
She has no opinion. Gorgon landing pad. Yeah, I thought after evacuation everyone is assumed dead there, except for marauders, but okay. Gorgon landing pad.
In orbit above Gorgon.
I don't know what kind of mess Spacer's Choice made here, but it figures they'd leave it to someone else to clean up.
There's someone to clean up? Like whom? Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Let's go. Wait, what are those cracks on the sky? Huh? Is that some kind? Is that like a terraforming dome? I'm not sure. Oh shit! They startled me. I thought it's some kind of creatures. Okay. And that's the Ambrose Manor, right? Okay. That would be like the... I don't know. Hold on. Ah, my mic. No! Damn it, my mic stand. Hold on. Let's go, everyone. Come on. Am I going the right way? No, I'm not. This elevator is broken.
If you have not been authorized for emergency evacuation, you may submit a request with your manager.
Oh, I guess the people who live here are the employees who were left behind. And then newcomers start to come in. Maybe adventurers? Argos, okay. Insert captain's identification cartridge to initiate remote landing. Hack. Disable emergency evacuation notice. Emergency evacuation notice successfully disabled. Okay, let's go. Oh, I forgot to change. I forgot to change my Gatling gun mod. Hold on. Dung 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 ding dung 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 dung.
You're adjusting before you pull. You're anticipating.
I want to change. No. I want to change the speedy barrel to something else. Fun times barrel. Sure and straight barrel. Range weapon mod barrel. Range weapon spread minus 25%. Range weapon sway minus 80%. Okay, let's do this. Sure and straight barrel. Nice. Let's test it out. What's the DPS now? 320? Oh, the flamethrower has higher DPS. After I remove the speedy barrel. Speedy made barrel.
Embrace our body, not the gun. Don't let a hunk of metal jerk you around. Spin around.
Wow. Look at those stars. Don't it make you feel small in the best way?
I guess. Small. We have to go there. Okay. Let's explore the other areas first, yeah? Oh. Yeah, let's go to the spread shack first. Hello, hello. Is my voice okay? Okay, what minute is this? 1:23. I'll have to check it later. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I need to move my monitor, it seems. Because I'm moving away. Okay, much better. I hope my mic can still, capture my voice nicely. No decrease in quality. But let's go. It was over here. Can I climb this? I don't think so. Yep. Lots of boxes near the landing pad. Aaron Dubois. How many years ago Gorgon was evacuated? Was it recent? No. I don't know. Maybe at least a year, I don't know. Because the evacuation happened after Minnie left home, so Minnie was already an adult. What year is it now? I don't know.
Supplies if you need them. No one lasts long on Gorgon unprepared.
Khalil Chakrun, that uniform. Sublight. Sublight set up shop here, of course. Sublight. Steal everything, you kleptomaniac.
Nice going.
Stealing his items right under his nose. This gives Aldervari such non-physical orgasm. Yes. Supplies. Khalil Chakrun. Spacer's Choice emblem is crossed out. Well, not crossed out. Vandalized, but he didn't even care to vandalize this emblem over here. Will he see me? But I can always bribe him, right?
Hey,
Yep.
you! What do you think you're doing?
Bribe.
I'll look the other way this time.
Okay.
Is that what my thoughts sound like? Law, I've been standing near that alarm too long. You looking for supplies, stranger? Let's stock up here. If you run low on bullets out in Gorgon's far reaches, there ain't no one around here liable to help you out. Let me know if you're looking for something particular.
So this is Gorgon.
You mean you came out to this asteroid without knowing nothing about it? Me too. Heard it was wild here and couldn't resist. Trouble is, if you wander off to somewhere you oughtn't be, like way out in Gorgon's farthest reaches, odds are slimmer of your bits finding their way to my pockets. If you want my advice, stick close to the Sprat Shack, unless you fancy having your limbs torn off and eaten.
I do not fancy that at all.
I figured not. Look, I ain't stopping you from wandering elsewhere. But if you do, be sure you watch out for the Marauders. That's the #1 thing. And the Mance, I guess.
Mantisaurs.
You watch out for Marauders, Mance, and Charles from accounting, and you'll probably be fine.
Hold on. How do Mantisaurs spread all over the colony? So they're a multiplanetary species? Who's Charles from accounting?
Only the meanest Marauder on Gorgon, and also anywhere else. That man is crazier than a bag of canids and twice as likely to bite. He will bust your head open like an overripe mock apple if he so much as sees you. I ain't joking. He'll snap you in half like stale bread noodles.
Hey, you're making me hungry.
Sorry. Been a minute since I last ate. Charles from accounting is like... Imagine if you took 3 of the most howling mad Marauders you could find and mashed them together. That's Charles.
You mean he's got the strength of 3 men?
That and a rocket launcher.
Go back to the part about the rocket launcher.
Did I not mention that? Right, sorry. He's got a rocket launcher.
How did he get a rocket launcher? Don't tell me you sold him that.
Couldn't say. He kills anyone who gets close enough to ask. Look, long story short, you do not fuck with Chuck. Best to avoid the Marauder camp entirely. That's my 2 bits on the matter.
What is the story about, behind his name, Charles Charles from accounting?
Yeah?
Where do you say he was again?
The Marauder camp way out to the east. That's what I heard, at least. And I sure hope you're asking so you can keep a safe distance away. Yeah?
Why is he called that?
His name is Charles and he used to work in accounting?
What? I don't know what I was expecting.
Anything else you needed? Yeah. His name...
No one accuses you of being creative, do they?
No, ma'am, they do not. His...
Makes sense to me.
Anything else you needed? Yeah? His...
Thanks.
No problem.
I take it that evacuation alarm wasn't urgent.
Huh? Oh, you don't gotta worry about that. Something to do with that scrap Project Gorgon from years back. Thanks for turning it off, by the way. I'd have lost my mind if the damn thing had gone on much longer.
Why didn't someone shut it off?
We tried. Couldn't persuade the control terminal to listen. No one round here is particularly mechanically inclined, and no one was gonna shut it down by force. That's for sure.
Why not?
I know, because even Von Hoffman couldn't bash it in. And I seen that tough son of a gun throw man clean across the Sprat Shack one time like he were a toss ball.
Von Hoffman? Who is that? What can you tell me about Project Gorgon?
Can do. Only that Spacer's Choice shut it down in a big hurry. From what I heard, some of their folks got left behind even. Don't seem like the project ended well.
What have you got for sale?
Found a pickaxe in the mine like none I've ever seen before. Could be awful useful if you're the violent type.
Mine? There is a mine here? Interesting. Handy deconstruction. I hear the spread sounds. Where are they? I understand spreads are all over the colony because people use them in experiments, right? They're like the equivalent of a lab rat. But what's with mantisaurs? How they spread across the colony? Across Halcyon, I mean. Spread shack, shipping and receiving, okay. General store. Serialized law and organization guardian. Main menu, welcome user, Tran D. Notice, electricity rationing in effect. By accessing this terminal, you consent to paying 1 bit per every option selected. Check electricity rationing bill. Processing, employee Tran Dominic owes 9,508 bits. Dominic Tran Dominic. Pay Trandi bill. Hack, delete Trandi bill record. Employee Dominic Tran currently owes 0 bits. Return to root. What happens if I pay Dominic Tran bill? Account paid in full. Congratulations on being a stellar Steam player, Dominic Tran. Four bits. Shipment history. Shipment history pull request logged. Please select from the following options. Outgoing shipments. Accessing log archive. Displaying departed freight. Please select from the following options. Stellar freighting Argosy. Shipment, wow, X00. Shipping manifest. Ship name Perseus. Voyage Terra 2 Loop E1. Port of load Gorgon. Port of discharge Edgewater. Edgewater. Discharge date 2350. Contents 2000 cartons containing redacted. Don't tell me Compound X. If so, what for? 3 discharge staff, 5 reassigned staff. Alert, manifest content exceeds the recommended maximum weights of this vessel. Shipment Z42. Shipping manifest. Ship name Perseus. Voyage Terra 1. Monarch. Loop SB4. Port of load Gorgon. Port of discharge Stellar Bay. Contents 100 cartons containing prototype redacted. 2 tons raw ore of redacted. 15 reassigned staff. Alert, manifest contents exceed the recommended maximum weights of this vessel. Ooh. Incoming shipments. Accessing log archive. Displaying accepted freight. Please select from the following options. Shipment 041 5TH. Shipping manifest. Vessel name Ethics Gradient. Voyage Charybdis Loop G3. Port of load Tartarus. Tartarus Prison. Port of discharge Gorgon. Contents 350 cartons containing 100 units each sterile injection ampoules. 30 high-pressure steel cylinders containing oxygen. 25 volunteers. You mean test subjects. And I doubt they're volunteers. They were volunteered, quote unquote, I think. Shipment 0415KK. Shipping manifest. Vessel name Profit Margin. Voyage Terra 2 Loop 7. Okay, from Terra 2. Port of load Byzantium. From Byzantium. Port of discharge Gorgon. Discharge dates. Contents 3 corporate security squads containing 3 fire teams each. Okay, 3 squads, 3 fire teams each. Assuming there are 4 members each fire teams times 3 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36, is it? 500 rounds light ammunition, 2000 round heavy ammunitions, 1 flat containing 10 units, Moonman standee. Messages. Gimsi, Gorgon internal messaging system interface. It's not the best choice, it's the only choice. Thank you for using Gimsi, your employer sanctioned messaging system. Friendly reminder. Your messages are company property. Unauthorized reproduction, distribution, or deletion of Gimsi content may result in early termination of your employment contract. Please select from the following options. Incoming messages. Displaying incoming messages from C. Mosley. To Dominic Tran from C. Mosley. Subject: various observations on the Argosis rate of export with a reprimand. Mr. Tran, are you aware of the concept of relativity? This is a rhetorical question. I'm aware that Spacer's Choice training does not include business philosophy in its curriculum. Consider this a remedial education. Broadly, relativity is an economic idea that describes productivity in terms of relationship. For example, from your point of view, the Argosys, i.e. your freight depot exports shipments at a perfectly reasonable rate. However, from the point of view of your enterprising colleague, i.e. S. Reynard, the Argos's freight depot exports shipments at a positively pathetic rate. If a single one of your colleagues is capable of 3 times your productivity, then relative to your colleague, the Argosy freight depot is a failure. What? The rubric of your success is measured relative to your fastest, strongest, and most productive colleagues. Do you understand? Please take a moment to consider the contents of this message and commit them to your heart. Furthermore, please select one of the following reprimands below and append it to your permanent records. A. The quality of your work is unacceptably low by Spacer's Choice standards. B. The quality of your work is unacceptably low relative to that of your colleagues. C. By receiving an official reprimand on your permanent record, you have violated the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct, which will result in an official reprimand. Work fortifies the spirit. C. Mosley. Work fortifies the spirit. The slogan is similar to work sets you free. C. Mosley. Outgoing messages. To S. Reynard. From Dominic Tran, subject efficiency. Buddy, I don't understand how you managed to log 3 times the number of shipments I do out of that miserable shack you call an office, but you need to cut it the fuck out. Mosley's been poking at the Argos's ship rate numbers again, and I started asking why Louis and I can't pack as quickly together as you can alone. I'm thinking maybe I should tell him you're dipping into the supply of the prototype Andrena time. I don't think he'd like that, do you? Shiz, maybe you are. If that's the case, well, maybe you ought to come lend me and Louis a hand when we load up the next haul of test subject corpses. Get yourself a real good view of what Cam's wonder drug does. Archive messages. From L. Velasquez. From Dominic Tran. To Dominic Tran from L. Velasquez, subject shipment inquiry, high priority. Dom, you gotta help me out. The Monarch's delivery gone MIA, and now the big guy at corporate is messaging my personal terminal looking for answers. Not Mosley, not Goodfellow. That seersucker suit-wearing MFer from Byzantium, Bancroft. Your kid cousin still works in Cascadia, right? Do you think he could hoof it over to Stellar Bay and just, I don't know, poke around the port, see if it's there? The shipment ID's Z42ML8TXY, the transport we packed last week. I know it's a lot to ask, and you know how I feel about begging for handouts. But I swear to the law, if I looked out my door, that Bancroft's guy'd be there in the street slapping a wrench against his palm, like in the mob boss in one of those bootleg serials from Groundbreaker. Please, man, you know how fond I am of my kneecaps. Louis. Huh, interesting. So people from Byzantine also capable of violence themselves. I thought they relegate that to the security guards or mercenaries. Luis Velasquez. You startled me, little fella. Spread check. Is this a dead spread? Oh, a sleeping spread. How cute. Chemical compound purposely released, not an accident. Is that how they pin it on Olivia Ambrose?
Come here. Let's have a chat.
Von Hoffman. Oh, this is the strong guy that Khalil Chakroon mentioned.
Don't want to chat? Fine. You're on my list now, bro.
What the fuck?
All right, inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting...
What is this stupid asshole doing? What's this all about?
Did I stutter? Just do as I say.
Blink rapidly.
I could do without the sass, but that's good enough. You're cleared.
Oh, you mean...
That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. You can head on downstairs.
Oh, because of the Compound X, I assume? What do you mean when you said people had changed?
Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better.
What happens when people change?
First, they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves. After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty.
What exactly am I?
This is the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet on the way downstairs.
Why?
The only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong.
Let me ask you something else.
Just don't ask me to dance.
What do you do around here?
Bouncer, bodyguard, law enforcer. I make sure the Sprat Shack gets only the highest caliber of clientele.
That's us.
And I thought this place was gonna be fun.
We get a lot of brand-loyal corporate types, and a lot of cutthroat freelancer types. Both sides have their share of dirty scoundrels. And I hate dirt.
Is it why you ask us to wipe our feet before we go down? What kinds of people come to the Sprat Shack?
This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility's locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow. A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again.
What do you know about Gorgon?
Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects. Marauders outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar.
Minnie mentioned that the Marauders seemed to be drawn to Gorgon. Minnie said the Marauders were drawn to Sorrow or something. Huh, interesting.
That's us.
See you around.
Stay cool. What's on your mind? Watch yourself out there.
Smell that? Cheap whiskey and stale cigarettes. My kind of place.
Oh, ugh. This place smells like Felix's birth.
Wait, you've been to Felix's birth? You've been to his room? Ah, Parvati. Are you and Felix developing some kind of relationship? Lex. Oh, it's a woman.
Watch your step. Von Hoffman sees everything.
Wait, does he have security cameras here?
As soon as I sober up, I'm headed back to the ruins.
Treasure hunters.
This rock ain't much to look at, but it's our rock. We're all friends here, even when we ain't. This is the best joint in the system. Ain't that right? Quit staring. I ain't here for your entertainment. This is a family business. Chin up, look sharp. Seen any good salvage around? Don't forget to close your tab before you head out. You here for salvage or merchandise? This is a family business. Chin up.
Are you my agent on the ground?
Sorry?
I've been sent to meet a certain someone about a certain piece of merchandise. They're supposed to use a secret code phrase.
Can't help you. I'm just here to drink.
That's the code phrase. It is you.
Quiet down. You're making a scene.
Okay, so I'm surprised Sublight allows freelancers to come here and do their own salvaging. I assume Sublight would want exclusive control. You know, I thought Sublight would want exclusivity of this place.
I don't know. Did you bring the goods?
No payment, no goods.
Give me a taste of the goods, just so I know I can trust you.
You can't trust me. Now, did you bring the payment?
I don't know. Did you bring the goods?
Yeah, I thought Sublight would want to monopolize this area, right? So they can profit from the leftover items themselves, instead of allowing people from outside Sublight to salvage and profit from that. Or maybe Sublight set up shop here.
Who do you work for anyway?
Hold on.
Auntie Pete? Mary the Sprat? Hardtack Harry?
It's Mary the Sprat. But don't you go telling anyone.
You work for Mary the Sprat. I work for Mary the Sprat.
Shit. We shouldn't be seen together. This is a setup. Or a hit. Or both?
Pretend you don't know me. Just play it casual. Can I get you a drink?
Or maybe Sublight set up shop here and they allow freelancers to do their own salvage, but they can't bring the salvage out themselves. Maybe they have to sell them to Sublight. That way Sublight has access to lots of quote-unquote employees. They don't need to use their own men.
Maybe this isn't a hit.
Buy you another round?
I really shouldn't. But I'm thirsty and I got time, so fuck it.
So Sublight doesn't have to send their own people. Simply allow these freelancers to come and salvage, but they have to sell the salvage to Sublight, and they can't bring the salvage out of the asteroid themselves. Maybe that's what they're doing here. Sublight, I mean.
We're all friends here, even when we ain't.
You're a humbug, Trixie, and worse, a thief.
I can't steal what's lawfully mine, you tangle-footed dimwit.
Bring it up, you two. I've heard more than enough of your shit for one.
Freddy and Trixie? Okay. Raving drunk?
The board is gonna force everyone into pods. Sound crazy? Oh, you just wait. We'll see who's crazy.
No, you're right. I believe you. I know about it.
I may have been overserved. I don't even remember how I got here. Fell asleep one night and woke up in a lab. You have to tell him. Zero G Brew is made of alien milk.
Alien hotties?
Where am I anyway? This doesn't look like Byzantium.
You're a long way from Byzantium, guy.
There's a king of space. Did you know that? Space King. What was her name again? Ambrose. Curdle milk with the glare of that woman.
Really?
You're not drunk. I'm drunk.
Correct.
I was here before they shut the project down. Started drinking just so I could sleep at night.
Wait, did you work at the facility?
What was her name again? Ambrose. Curdle milk with the glare of that woman.
What's behind here?
How'd you do that so fast?
Lex.
Welcome to the Sprat Shack. First one's on the house, and I won't even water it down. What'll it be?
I'm good, thanks.
So, you just wandered in for the genteel conversation. Suit yourself.
Gentile?
I assume you're here for salvage.
You mean Gentile? Sure. Got any leads?
Even if I did, I ain't supposed to play favorites. Most of my regulars are sublight scavengers. They pick over the ruins of Gorgon, spend their earnings at the bar, and head back out the next day. Vicious cycle, but that's life. You're the first new face I've seen in a while.
Do you know anyone by the name of Lucky Montoya?
Lucky? Sure, I knew him. He could get a little dramatic at times, but he was a good guy. Heard he took on a dangerous job. Spent a lot of time coming and going from the Office of Creative Incubation, just down the road.
Office of Creative Incubation? What? Office of Creative Incubation?
That's where the top rungers at Spacer's Choice came up with slogans and marketing. Lucky never told me why it was so important. Awful shame about what happened to him.
What happened?
You really want to hear my story? Law, most everyone around here is sick to death of it by now. Last I saw of Lucky was a few days ago. I went outside for a smoke and a stroll, and I saw this wild canid dragging a bloody limb. So I kicked the canid, scared it off.
I hate canids.
I'm an animal lover myself, but canids have temperament issues you just can't breed out. Get this, the canid was chewing on an honest-to-law human arm. Lucky's arm.
Oh no. How'd you know it belonged to Lucky?
I'm a bartender. Attention to detail is my middle name. Anyway, the arm was clutching a phonograph that mentioned someone named Alex Hawthorne.
Wait.
I did some poking around, and this Hawthorne has a reputation among the salvagers who frequent the bar. So I packaged up the arm nice and tidy and sent it care of the Halcyon Parcel Service. They even gave me a discount on the hazardous waste removal stamp.
So it was her who sent the arm, the hand. Okay. The arm made it to me. I'm Hawthorne's next of kin, sort of.
No kidding. And now you're here? Colony feels smaller than you'd think some days. I'm glad I was here to see this confluence of events, you know? The stars really aligned on this one. And here I am, smack dab in the middle.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Why bother sending the arm at all?
I figured Hawthorne would want to know what happened to his pal. Help Lucky get his affairs in order, you know. Oh, I hate to see people go with unfinished business.
Really? Where was Lucky staying?
3rd floor. Once I figured he wasn't coming back to pay his tab, I left his room unlocked to air it out. You can help yourself to anything you left behind. Fair warning, I've been letting the regulars use it for a quick lie down. Just wash your hands when you're done. Trust me.
Wait, were they masturbating? What the fuck? What do you know about Gorgon?
Spacer's Choice used to brew pharmaceuticals in these parts. That's why the asteroid smells like an old gym sock. They say Adrenatime came from here, just down the road at the old R&D lab. Very hush-hush back in the day.
So Adrenatime was invented here. Would any of you regulars have more information about Gorgon?
Roscoe might tell you more.
Roscoe?
He spent some time around here before the bar opened up. And I trust him well enough.
Where is he?
There's always Leonora, my favorite customer over in the storage room on the second floor. Keeps to herself and always closes out her tab.
Roscoe Leonora. What's Roscoe's story?
He's been here since opening day. I think he told me he was some kind of journalist.
Ah.
He got left behind when Spacer's Choice pulled out. And I guess no one's coming to get him.
He can't even buy his ticket way out of here? By paying sublight? Maybe we could... Maybe we can take him on the unreliable and drop him somewhere he wants to be. Poor bastardo. You looking out for him?
Roscoe's drinks are on the house. We all know how it feels to get left behind.
Where about the food?
Right. He's with the family now, and we take care of our own.
What about the food? You also give him food. Why'd he get left behind?
He didn't tell me and I didn't ask. I'm his bartender, not his human resources rep. If you believe the chatter, a lot of good folks got left behind, and a lot of bad folks made it out. Sometimes that's all there is to it.
What can you tell me about Leonora?
Nice lady. Been coming around a lot these past few months. She isn't with Sublight, but seems to know the lay of the land better than anyone. She spends most of her days drinking alone. I think she's looking to hire someone. If you're open to a side gig.
Side gig. Do you know if she spoke with Lucky Montoya at all?
Now that you mention it, I thought I saw those two sharing stories over a pint. Didn't think twice about it. I don't speak ill of the dead, but Leonora deserves better company. That Lucky was no good for her.
Why? Thanks for the tip. Just the tip? Why not go all the way in?
What are friends for, eh?
Any idea why Spacer's Choice shut Gorgon down?
I doubt anyone knows the full story. One day the evacuation order went out. Grunts and lab coats scrambled to get anywhere but Gorgon. And the weirdest thing of all, Adrenatime still hit the market. Me, I never touch the stuff. To each their own, but I think it's dangerous.
Salvagers must be making a fortune of Gorgon.
Damn right we are. We've got drugs, scrap metal, prototype weapons, drugs, money, and more drugs. When Spacer's Choice evacuated, everyone dropped their gear and ran. Most of it stayed where it fell, and all of it is up for grabs. Of course, the real treasure is whatever's locked up in the old facility. Until someone figures a way to crack it open, we're just sifting through dirt.
Sifting through dirt, okay. No further questions.
You got it, bub.
Bub? So you run this place?
Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge.
So Sublight owns the Sprat Shack now?
Yes and no. Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea.
Lilia Hagen. Dare I ask why Sprat owns this bar?
See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat.
You can do
If
that.
there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
You know, they do something similar in Byzantium. Fancier system, but same idea.
You think a Sprat could own Edgewater? Oh. Imagine one wearing Mr. Thompson's little hat.
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules.
How would you even know which Sprat is the right one?
Easy. His name's Matt. The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Sprat apart from an ordinary vermin. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase.
There's such a big loophole in the law. What happens if Ethel Gabler turns him into a Spratwurst? Oh yeah, she's the lady who sells Sprat, food based on Sprat, barbecued Sprat, I think.
Never thought about that. Shit, someone could have eaten my boss. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters.
Does Spacer's Choice mind that you're squatting in their warehouse?
Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential.
Wasted? Can you answer any question without starting with yes and no?
Yes. And no. Again, that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place.
Don't listen to Hagen. Well, don't always listen to her. How do you get supplies in and out?
Thirsty people come and go from all over the colony. Mostly on the way to somewhere better. Some are well connected. And not everyone pays with bits. That's how we get the unconventional goods anyhow. Sublight keeps us well stocked with the essentials, by which I mean booze.
How about a drink?
Don't forget to close your tab when you're done.
Of course.
I don't want any trouble in my place.
I'm gonna have a look around.
Come back when you're thirsty.
Okay. Come back when you're thirsty, really? Am I thirsty right now? I don't know. Hold on. Almost stole it. Bad for business. Second floor and third floor, I guess. Where is it? Oh, okay, the staircase. Oh. Let's go. Steal everything. Anti-Cleo or Spacer's Choice? Oh, Spacer's, okay. Oh, okay. Bribe.
What do you think you're doing?
You're just a fucking patron, not the owner. Okay, bribe you.
All right, best you get going.
I'm going. I'm coming.
Trixie.
That was my salvage, Trixie. You had no right to it then, and you've no right to it now.
What's going on here? Let them talk.
I risked my life sneaking around Marauders to claim that wreck. And I didn't see your name on it.
Now you've done it. Eat fist!
All right, that's enough! This is a family establishment! You want to make a mess? You make it outside!
But this was personal, Lex. It's a question of salvage. That wreck was gonna make me a fortune.
Not two legs. You get a lot of tavern squabbles around here. Let them talk.
Now you two listen, this is my place. While you're in the Sprat Shack, you'll sit quietly or I'll forbid you to come here at all. Is that understood?
Fair's fair. I'll have a stout, and we'll settle this later on our own terms.
It's no good to leave a fight unresolved. If I don't do something, these two are gonna be at each other's throats.
What do you propose?
Would you do me a favor and weigh in as a third party? I can use an unbiased set of eyes on the problem, and an outsider like you fits the bill.
You want me to decide their drunken arguments?
If you wouldn't mind.
Why not just get von Hoffman?
This isn't von Hoffman material. Calling up von Hoffman would be like swatting a fly with a sledgehammer.
Fine, I'll give it a whirl.
Freddy, Trixie, go on and make your case to the generous stranger.
I'll start, seeing as I'm the one who's been most wronged in this equation.
State your names for the tavern.
Oh, very formal. Freddy the Scab, freelancer for sublight salvage and shipping, same as my father before me.
Freddy the Scab.
Junkyard Trixie, also a salvage freelancer, though I've been at it longer than Freddy.
So, just up the road and due east of here, there's a shipwreck lodged in the mountainside, right? I staked my claim on that wreck. Then I wandered in for a drink. An hour later, Trixie swaggers in bragging about her salvage. Ugh, the nerve of some people.
Hold on, so Freddy the Scab is with Sublight, but Trixie is an independent salvager, I think. That's why Lex wants us to mediate. Because both Lex and Freddy are Sublight. How did you mark the claim?
I climbed on top of it and called out in my loudest voice, "Finders keepers!"
Turn to Lex. Is that legal?
I don't know about legal, but it's legit by sublight standards. Assuming anyone was around to hear it, which we can't know for sure.
Someone must have heard me. They just ain't brave enough to step forward and admit it.
Nod. What's your side of the story, Trixie?
When I found the shipwreck, there were no salvage mark. See, the whole area was teeming with bloodthirsty marauders. So I snuck around and added my tag, clear as day, so no drunken idiots could claim the salvage out from under me, Freddy.
For the record, when I heard the marauders coming, I left. Trixie must have set her mark down after me.
Drum your fingers thoughtfully.
Quit leading the prosecution, Hullhead. Anyway, that's my story, ma'am.
What mark did you leave on the salvage, Trixie?
I drew X in the dirt, with my toe.
Couldn't the marauders have walked over it by now, or the wind blown it away?
Wouldn't surprise me in the least, but that doesn't mean it ain't mine.
In all my years, I've never heard a more contentious argument. I don't envy your shoulders for bearing the weight of responsibility. You've heard it from them both. So, who gets the salvage?
Yeah. Trixie claimed the salvage. It's hers by law. Well, both their methods are not good, are not proper methods to mark something. One is just shouting, one is just drew an X on the ground. What the fuck? Can't Alderweireld just go there and check whether there's an X or not? These idiots don't know how to take salvage, so I rule in no one's favor. But Lex did say unresolved fight could lead to something bad, right? These idiots don't know how to take salvage, so I rule in no one's favor.
That ain't no kind of fair.
She ain't even from around here, Lex.
Here's a six-pack on the house, plus your fee. Maybe now we'll finally get some peace around here for a change.
Does this happen often?
A little too often if you ask me, but that's the sublight way. Anything worth doing is worth fighting over.
Glad to be of service. See you around.
Come and chat if you're ever feeling thirsty.
We could always go back and rile him up again later. That's my captain.
Freddy's a blathering idiot, but he's my blathering idiot.
Are you guys friends or lovers? If you're lovers, just split it. Split.
Gonna puke. Nope. No, it went down. False alarm.
Ugh.
I'm not drunk. You're drunk. I'm not drunk. You're drunk.
It's been a day, let me tell you. Trixie's a stubborn gal, but I love her to pieces. What are you looking at? Trixie's a stubborn gal, but I love her to pieces.
Okay.
I wouldn't get too close to that railing, just in case.
Why? Is it?
You think the folks here like strangers? Because some of them are looking at us like maybe not.
Don't worry. You see here? Gatling gun. And Alderweireld is decked out in heavy armor. Don't worry.
Jerome would have loved this place.
Leonora Diallo. Jerome. Who's Jerome? Ah. Leonora Diallo.
You don't look like one of the salvagers, no? Don't really seem like the type. You've got the look of someone who's traveled far to get here and whose journey is far from over.
What makes you say that?
Confidence. The scavengers around here, they're faking it. You're the real deal. I don't know if you're bound for the old ruins, but in case you are, can you look into something? I'd do it myself, but of course, the Marauders would eat me alive.
Does this have something to do with Jerome? Hold on. I bet you could stand your ground.
Not for long. Looking for something out there. Been paying Sublight to help me, but they haven't made much progress.
Sublight wouldn't turn a rock unless there was a salvage underneath it.
Well put. My husband and I worked on Gorgon during the good times. Jerome was on maintenance duty. I cleaned out test tubes till they sparkled.
Test tubes. Where's Jerome now?
Nowhere good, that's for sure. In his final hours, Gorgon was a war zone. Violence broke out in the labs. The hills were full of marauders. You couldn't take a leisurely stroll without an armed escort. When the order came through to evacuate, non-essential personnel drew a lottery to see who would board the first wave of ships. Jerome won. I lost. As soon as I wasn't looking, Jerome switched our tickets and pushed me to the front of the line. I got to leave. Jerome stayed behind. I never saw him again.
Okay, I apologize. I was AFK. Didn't realize I did not pause the recording. That was very noble of him.
That Jerome always chose the right thing, even when it got him killed. This place is greedy. Took my Jerome, and it would have taken me too. I just want one thing back. His old hip flask. I gave it to him the day we signed our marriage contract, and he carried it wherever he went. I know it's still here.
Old hip flask. What do you think happened to Jerome?
No point in denying it, he died on this rock. Likely torn apart by marauders, unless he took care of himself on his own terms. I don't like to imagine what happened, but I know I have to accept it.
You mean suicide? I could keep an eye for that flask. If I come across anything, I'll let you know.
I appreciate it, stranger. I don't expect you to move the stars. Just keep an eye out and think of me from time to time. I don't have much, but if you help me, there's a little set aside for the occasion. Jerome used to drink with his buddies in a small kitchen opposite the maintenance shed. Might be a good place to check first.
Kitchen? I wanted to ask you something first.
Yeah?
Did you know Lucky Montoya?
That old flirt? Yeah, I let him buy me a drink or two. He talked my ear off about exciting jobs he'd done. All lies, I'm sure. He fell asleep with his head on my shoulder. That man had baggage like you wouldn't believe. I didn't think anyone could be lonelier than me.
Wait, what? Did you guys have sex? Okay, maybe not. Did he mention anything about the Gorgon research facility? Was he depressed?
He put on quite a front, but I think he was weary. Like he'd seen too much and had too little to show for it. Guess we were kindred spirits in a way.
Did he mention anything about the Gorgon research facility?
He bragged about having the key to some sort of maintenance area in one of the old buildings. I never saw it, so I just assumed he was talking himself up. He also asked if I wanted to see something gross and slimy he kept in his room, but I declined, politely.
Gross and slimy, don't tell me. Is it Eridanium gigaseus? It couldn't be, right? That's all, thanks for your time.
Sure thing. My condolences if you two were close. Get...
Tell me about your time on Gorgon.
The lab coats kept quiet about the project, but the air was charged with excitement. You could feel it wherever you went. They wanted to change the world. A tenfold boost to worker productivity with no side effects? Who wouldn't salivate at the thought? I don't know what went wrong, but when the shit hit the fan, it sprayed everyone in its path, including me.
I'm sorry to hear that. Be seeing you.
Who's this now?
Oh, Roscoe Clanton.
Who am I kidding?
The journalist, right? Or reporter. What's the difference? I don't know.
What's the story with this place anyhow?
Used to be a shipping warehouse. Supplies came in, deadly chemicals went out.
Who told you that?
I worked here back in the day.
You're pulling my leg.
No, it's true.
Okay, Roscoe Clanton, what do you have to say?
Holy shit, a fresh face. Haven't seen your like in years. Don't know what brought you to the most dangerous corner of this solar system, pal, but you're welcome here. Oh, you talked to Lex yet? She tell you to keep it civil? You wouldn't guess to talk to her, but that lady's got a mean left hook.
You folks get into a lot of fist fight here?
Me? Nah. Never been a pugilistic kind of guy. Did most of my fighting with a pen back when I did it at all. Nowadays, I just drink. At least Lex has got the good manners to let me do it for free.
I talked to her. She mentioned you were some kind of a journalist.
Some kind. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Got into reporting thinking I was gonna be some sort of public intellectual. What a joke. Spent 95% of my time playing stenographer to the board, and the rest writing puff pieces on the chairman's latest beard trim. Real life and death shit.
You seem... Perception. You seem like you're having a rough time. Can I help you out?
If you're going back out there, do you think you'd be willing to do an old bastard a small favor?
Details first, promises later.
Told you I was a journalist, right? I was here on a story back when Project Gorgon was active. I was doing an interview series for Spacer's Choice. Recorded them all on these little portable phonographs. But when everything fell to shit, Spacer's Choice wouldn't let me leave. Terms of my reporting contract unmet, they said.
Perception. You hit them, and now you need me to get them for you. Did about cover it?
Right on the money. Look at me, I'm no fighter. I've never even touched a gun. But you're just the right amount of rough around the edges. Help me get my recordings back so I can finally get the hell out of here.
Why stash the recordings?
Someone had been trying to steal them since the day my assistant and I started interviewing. Couldn't even keep them in my safe. They always found a way in. So I took to hiding them all over the fucking asteroid. Thought I was so clever. What a fool I was.
Where is your assistant? Oh, okay. You mentioned assistant. Where are they now?
Oh, Georgie? Yeah, she helped me with interviews. A real whiz with the portable recorder tech, too. When things got crazy, I shoved her onto the last ship off Gorgon. With any luck, she's safe and comfortable in Byzantium.
Okay.
She tried every which way to stay, but it was my contract keeping us here, not hers. Didn't seem fair she'd have to suffer just because I made a bad deal.
Okay. Why not just forget about the contract and leave?
Oh, I've tried. Make no mistake. I've caught a couple of rides out with sublight folks. But the board's fixers always send me right back.
Oh.
And I'm not about to stand toe-to-toe with marauders just to fulfill a line item on a contract.
It's your lucky day, Roscoe. I'll get those recordings for you.
No shit? That's downright civilized of you. All right. One of them I stashed in the Office of Creative Incubation, in the projector room on the 3rd floor. I gave another to my friend Birdie to keep in her apartment, just outside OCI's upper entrance.
Why there?
Seems like a good idea at the time. Someone had started a fire, folks were shooting other folks. It was a madhouse.
Got it. Next.
You'll find another in the chem lab. It's in the main lab storage room.
You ran all over Gorgon just to hide your recordings?
Didn't have much of a choice. The primals had gotten loose, couple of them were chasing me. The recordings just ended up wherever I hid.
Alright, easy enough. The others?
The final one is in human inquiry and auditing. It's tucked behind a pipe in Observation Room B.
Behind a pipe, Observation Room B. The observation room, wouldn't someone have seen you?
What with the test subjects running loose, the researchers were surprisingly unobservant.
Got it? No promises, but I'll let you know if I find anything.
That's more than I've been able to hope for in years. Thank you. Hey, there you are. Been wondering how you were doing. Did you manage to find those recordings?
Can I ask you something?
Sure, I'm an open book.
What's the deal with Lucky Montoya?
Nice enough guy. Fashioned himself one of those professional gumshoes, like in the serials. They usually work for the board, rooting out dissidents and the like. Lucky, though, he was freelance. Worked for anyone who paid, no matter their allegiance. You ask me, I think the guy just likes snooping around in folks' terminal messages.
There's Aldervares. Did Lucky tell you anything about his investigation?
Next to nothing. He preferred to keep a tight lid on things, more dramatic that way. Not that he needed to keep secrets. Folks down here don't give two shits about anything but bits and beer.
Persuade. Theatrical types tend to blab. You sure he didn't mention anything?
So sometimes Lucky'd get deep in his cups and start going on about the ghost of Gorgon.
Oh.
But I didn't think anything of it. Guy also liked to say he could pop the cyst off a cysty pig at 100 paces with his eyes closed.
What was Gorgon like in its heyday?
Frenetic, chaotic, vicious, take your pick. I wasn't here at the start, but going off what folks told me about the early days, Gorgon started out with promise. The board's best and brightest were excited to work here, said it was a good posting. The project director had a vision and big, bold ideas.
Olivia? And then?
Nothing good lasts long in Halcyon. Thing is, the schedules coming out of the corporate office were unrealistic from the get-go, and they were trying to do the project on a shoestring budget. Couple that with the obvious personnel problems and toxic junk in the product, it was only a matter of time before it all went to hell.
How'd Marauders enter the picture?
Sprat Shack legend has it they crawled out of the mines one day. Heard one fella suggest they might even be aliens.
Wait, crawled out of the mines? What? So they are not from off... So they are not from off-world. What? What do you think?
I think Halcyon wants us dead. Look at Monarch. The planet's pure poison. Folks can't eat the food that grows on Terra 2 without getting sick. Who's to say it's not something in the dirt or the water?
Oh.
I don't have proof, mind. It's just a hunch.
Oh, Kiki, this is getting interesting. Really interesting. Gorgon's a ruin now. What sent it over the edge?
Shit, any number of things. Fire, primals, sabotage. It didn't happen all at once, but it happened fast enough folks couldn't respond in time. Now, if you're asking how it all kicked off, might have been spies that did it. Corporate espionage, you know. Anti-Cleos.
Oh,
I never
Anti-Cleos.
did figure it out. Not about to try now.
You must have talked to a lot of the staff here. What were they working on?
Adrenatime. I'm sure you know it. Was a drug, something to make folks work harder, work smarter. Had a lot of nasty side effects. Didn't seem so bad to me at the time, but then I hadn't met the test subjects yet. The whole thing was real hush-hush. A lot of worry about corporate spies, especially from Anti-Cleos. I probably shouldn't even be mentioning it to you, to be honest. Spacer's Choice? They're really not fond of spies.
Who does? Oh, okay. Who is?
Fair point. Not even spies like spies.
What do you know about the senior researchers?
Not much, except that there was a whole gaggle of them, and so far as I could tell, they absolutely hated each other. Dr. Ambrose would hardly let me speak to any of them, but she complained about him all the time.
Olivia Ambrose. What did she complain about?
Everything, seemed like. Marion Blakesley, for example, lady who ran HIA, wouldn't return any of her messages. Not once, for years. Jasper Lowe, guy who headed up Chem, was high more than he was sober. He insisted on running special tests on primals, too. Law knows what for.
Anyone else?
Dr. Ambrose really had it out for this guy Lawrence Goodfellow. Ran OCI. would lose his shit if he saw red on a schedule. By the end, I heard folks were turning in completely bunk progress reports just to keep him out of their hair. Had this little minion, too, an actuary named Clarence Mosley, obsessed with quantifying every detail of his sad little life. Mosley was the guy who got me mixed up in all this. Asshole. I hope a primal ate him.
What did he do? What did Clarence Mosley do to Roscoe? So there was tension between the researchers.
Oh yeah, it wasn't just that Dr. Ambrose hated them. They seemed to hate each other too. OCI pushed a ludicrous schedule. Chem made a bad product, and HIA returned garbage results. A regular merry-go-round of shit flying in every direction. It's no surprise it all fell apart.
Sounds like half the crews I run with. Not this one, of course.
Mister, I'm not about to tell you how to do your job, but I ain't think that metaphor's fit to print.
Editor always did say my prose was a bit purple. Or brown, in this case.
What? Brown because of your skin? Oh, brown because of shit. Okay, a regular merry-go-round of shit. Flying in every direction. Okay, brown because it's shit. Okay. Never mind.
Not a problem. Anything else? Not.
I'll let you know when I find those recordings.
Of course, I won't be going anywhere, so, you know, take your time.
In the old days, I felt like I was part of something important, like my work. Made it difference. Then the bosses, in their infinite wisdom, took a good thing and rubbed their stink all over it.
You don't have to talk if this upsets you. We can just drink.
Yeah, I think I'd like that.
No. Why did you fall, stupid woman?
You, my friend, are in the blue. What say we find a better spot to drink? Somewhere with less history.
Lost Hope comes to mind, but it's a little out of the way.
The joint on Groundbreaker? Consider it done. Anything to cheer you up, pal.
You're sure? I wouldn't want to be a burden.
What are drinking buddies for? One more round, and I'll be ready to go.
So they're going to leave Gorgon and go to Groundbreaker.
Okay, going quiet.
What is overheat? Oh, it's a flamethrower. Okay. Smuggler's note. Sullivan. Oh, is this the same Sullivan? The one who's working the elevator back in the Grand Colonial Hotel on Eridanos? Sullivan, you were right about this place. I got the lead on some pricey merchandise, and all I had to do was put my ear to the ground. Apparently, there is a mine shaft down the road, past human inquiry and auditing. And due east. Used to be an old dead drop, but no one goes there anymore. Wonder why. Would be dangerous, but what kind of scoundrel would I be if I let the goods sit there unappreciated? Come and join me when you read this. I won't wait for you, but I'll bet there's more loot that can carry by myself. So this is a note, right? If the note is physically here, that means Sullivan's here. So she left Eridanos, and now she's here. Is this a coincidence? Or is she following Aldervaris? Huh. I don't know. I'm kind of paranoid.
Someone's in here. Oh, lol. It's coming back up again.
Do you need help?
I'm all right. That last one really emptied my guts. No, wait. Here comes more. This is not my proudest moment.
I can see that. It's alright. Not going to really kill you.
Now I'm hungry again.
Again?
It's not fair, I tell you. I only had 2 drinks. What are you looking at? Never seen a grown man puke before?
Never.
When did I become such a lightweight? How is there anything left inside of me? I just need a minute for my stomach to settle. To make matters worse, I think someone pooped in my pants.
Wait, how?
This is not my proudest moment.
Oh, disgusting. Ugh. Let me see it some more. Okay. Oh, whose room is this? List of expenses. Room and board at the spread shack. 350 bits. Board's worth 25 bits. OCI key. OCI key. So... So, Sublight bought an OCI key. Where is it now? Ammunition, Stogie Slims, Glacial Age Whiskey. Theories and leads. Something strange in mines. Check it out. Okay, according to Roscoe, people say the marauders came out of the mines. Note, stay out of mines. Murderous moonmen in the canyon? Probably local legend. Canids, yellow, Spacer's Choice logo. Yellow, coincidence? No such thing. Persons of interest. Lots of bodies buried on Gorgon, but not many Hacketts. Everyone had a grudge to bear and a finger to point. Lawrence Goodfellow oversaw Office of Creative Incubation. Genuinely oblivious or playing dumb. Olivia Ambrose, Project Director, Lead Scientist. Prickly Perfectionist. Note, do not ask Minnie about her. Killed in evacuation. Oh, she is dead. Lucien Bancroft, Spacer's Choice man, real top rank, are a few logged visits to Gorgon. Tensions with Ambrose. Marion Blakesley, Supervisor of Human Inquiry and Auditing, Nerves of Steel, Heart of Ice, etc. Disappeared when things fell apart. So she could still be alive. Jasper Lowe, Head of Chem Lab, exhibited increasingly erratic behavior in later years of project. Herbert Saint Germain, he's a ghost, worked at one of the facilities, vanished suddenly, record scrub. Record scrub. Spacer's Choice want this man to be gone. At least the records about him, but why? Herbert Saint Germain. Roscoe mentioned Jasper Lowe. Roscoe mentioned Marion Blakesley, Olivia, and Lawrence, but he did not mention Lucien and this Herbert Saint Germain. Lucky's case notes, hold on. Oh, so this is the room that Lucky Montoya stayed in. This is Lucky Montoya's room. Alright. Who is this? Hey, this is Lucky's room. What the fuck are you doing here? Oh yeah, I remember Lex said that even though this is Lucky's... after Lucky's gone, people have been using this room regularly. Okay, so that's why. That's why there's someone over here.
Real slick.
Requires code to unlock. Damn it. Lucky's case notes. Day 1. Spacer's Choice may have left in a hurry, but they didn't forget to lock the doors on their way out. Most of the facilities are sealed up tighter than the top runner safe. Time to do some digging. Day 6. Caught a break today. Met a scavenger who claims to be a salesman for Spacer's Choice. Sold me a key to the Office of Creative Incubation. Let's just say this guy is about as lucid as a sprat in a Rizzo's factory. But I'm spending Minnie's bits so I can afford to take a chance. Day 7. It worked. Clarence Mosley, whoever you are, I'm drinking to you tonight. Wait a minute. So the salesman is Clarence Mosley. Ah. According to Roscoe, Clarence Mosley is the right-hand man of Lucien, right? Lucien Bancroft. So he sold the key to Montoya, the key to OCI. But why? Day 10. Olivia Ambrose's office and journal ought to be in the Synthesis and Manufacturing Center. The bad news is it's sealed up and at the ass end of the canyon. The good news is I should be able to open it from the Bigwig's admin terminal in OCI. Okay, so I have to go to the OCI first and use the terminal to open the entrance to the Synthesis and Manufacturing Center. Day 13. OCI is crawling with marauders, and I've got a few other leads to chase down. Could be nothing, but my gut tells me there's more to this place than a missing journal. Time to turn over a few rocks and see what crawls out. I'm leaving the OCI key in the safe. The combo is 4815. Why do you write down the passcode? But I'm grateful for that. Preserve eye.
As a medical professional, I gotta say, that is very well preserved and disgusting.
Is it?
I think they stick the preservative in before or after the eye comes out.
Is it Lucky's eye? I don't think so. Why would Lucky took out his own eye? A carefully preserved eyeball, mostly intact. I'm guessing this is to open some doors in the facility. Maybe some doors require eye scanning. Eye scans, yeah. Okay, I hope we didn't disturb your sleep. Sleep in peace.
There. Adrenatime, I think. I found some in an old busted crate.
You're just gonna take some drug you found in the garbage?
It's not some drug. It's adrenatime.
I don't see a label.
If it wasn't safe, it wouldn't be in a syringe.
I can't argue with that.
Okay. I came from here, right? This is the toilet. So I have to go down. No other way. This is where I entered last, Roscoe. Leonora's over there. Okay, time to leave the spread shack and explore, I guess. So what should we find first? Side quest? Hold on. Electric Fling? Who is this? Oh, Roscoe, okay. The ones who walk away from Gorgon. The journal. Love is the plan is death. Jerome's flask in the ruins. In the kitchen across from the maintenance garage. That would be the place to start searching for the flask. Okay. Girls, are you ready to explore?
Any trouble I should know about? If you're heading downstairs, order something sweet.
Why? Because I said so.
Don't you worry, Mr. Lucky Spirit. We're gonna finish your work and put you to rest good and proper.
Mr. Lucky Spirit.
Just hoping we don't need Lucky's arm to open something else.
So, okay, we came from there. This... A broken elevator, I guess. Oh, I can go down here. Hold on. Spread shack. Is it a collapsed train? Monorail? Huh, I don't know. No, it's the building. Okay. Spread shack. And that's the Ambrose Manor, right? There's Khalil Chakroon. Okay, we go here then. What's over here? Oh, elevator. Is this leading to the... yeah, landing pad, okay. Okay, so not going here. Right to the spread shack. Okay, let's go here then. Okay, there's a booth over there. An elevator, but it's broken, I think. Oh, this is where we came down. Okay. Okay, so there are two elevator spots. One over here, one over there. Okay, what will happen if I take this up? Okay, just going back to the landing pad, I guess. Okay. Never mind. Here we go here now. Oh, corpse. Corporate commander. Okay, post to the left.
Whatever happened here, we're not gonna be next. Be ready.
Okay, I need to turn off this barricade, but how? I can't shoot it. Oh, over here, okay. Oh, I can go through here as well. Never mind. Make sure no stone left unturned. To the best of our ability, of course. I'm sure we're gonna miss some.
I won't tell.
Tell whom? Tell who? Tell whom? Oh, no entrance. Another corpse, but it's blocked by a barrier. Can I destroy it, maybe? Nope. Oh, he get decapitated by the barrier. Poor guy. Poor guy. Okay. Oh, can I enter this room? But how? How can I enter that room? Okay, bulletproof. Yeah, I can't enter this place. It's barricaded. Maybe maybe I have, I don't know. Maybe there's a tunnel connecting these buildings. Spaceship. Envitur? What is Envitur?
This is so stupid. Georgie, you asshole. What are you doing? Hey, you got those drinks? Don't tell me it's Glacial Age again.
When did you become Miss Picky? Beer's beer. Hey, what are we celebrating anyway?
1 year on assignment. Only 10,000 more to go.
No shit. And that makes it 1 year trapped in this goddamn closet.
1 year getting chewed out by Olivia Ambrose for doing our jobs.
1 year drinking stolen beer.
And 1 year as partners. In crime. Partners in crime.
Hey, you okay? Your face is all red. Let me get you some water. Hold on.
Partners, Georgie? Are you out of your mind? Get it together!
Oh, Georgie has a crush? Had a crush on Roscoe, I guess. That's why her face is red. Not from the drink, but from being embarrassed. So that was Roscoe's assistant, right? But Roscoe said he managed to shove her in the last shuttle. So she's in Byzantium now somewhere. I hope safe.
You gotta teach me that.
No. So I assume this is where Roscoe and Georgie lives. No, it's not. This is not a. Maybe in one of these, one of these modules. Maybe this is a dwelling module. Dwelling modules, I mean. I don't know. Or this is just crates, maybe. F-Tour.
This unit is currently in wait cycle. Please return later.
Kick the automech.
Error. Tilt alarm.
Oh no.
Emergency reconciliation mode. This unit will now engage. Oh.
No.
Protocol. This unit is currently in wait cycle. Please
Okay.
return later.
Okay, just say oh calamity, okay.
Have a better than natural day.
Oh, Anti-Cleo's robots. If Spacer's Joe is so worried about Anti-Cleo's espionage, why even use Anti-Cleo's products? Weird. Maybe Spacer's Choice does not manufacture robots, so they have to rely on another corporation. Sorry, girls. Sorry again.
Nice going.
Okay, I think we're done here. We can't open that barrier yet. So let's go over here. Oh, Marauder Berserker.
I'm going.
What? What is that? Who shot me? Marauder crack shot or sniper? Crack shot. Of course, a fucking crack shot. Oh no! Oh! Got out sniped. Dang it. Continue. I hope it wasn't far from where I got out sniped. Oh no. Oh no. Not that far. Okay.
All right.
Oh, I got sniped. Wow. Wait, I can't hit it. Okay, but I'm almost dead.
Be right there.
These marauders are so dangerous, man. They're so dangerous. Crashed ship. Okay. Let's go to the right first, yeah?
On my way.
Bridge. Have I upgraded my... Yes, I've upgraded. Level 48. Oh, are there enemies? I don't know. Marauder Berserker. Wow, so dark. So freaking dark. No. Okay. Where is this? What is this place? Hmm.
Whoa, this looks just like the abandoned parts of Edgewater.
Let's keep moving before we get all introspective. You, doing okay, Parvati?
I've been better. But thank you for asking.
Okay, yeah, it reminds her of Edgewater, I guess. I want to try a different mod for my assault rifle. Hold on. What's the DPS now? 2038. Well, 1000 points difference. Okay. Do it, okay. Who killed the Marauder Crackshot? Oh, using drugs. Oh, shit! I mispressed fucking fuck! Fuck you! Never mind then. What happened? A little bit of lag. Economy flats. Oh, apartment building. Okay. Ocular verifier. Let's go to the second floor, yeah? Letters from Edgewater 1 of 3. Dear Cousin Dan, Reed Thompson started doling out Adrena time to a select few of us. And guess who got his hands on the first batch? Isn't it the drug you're working on? I had my dosage this morning and worked straight through lunch. The guy who cleans Saltuna across from me is pulling his second shift, and now he's due for a 2-bit raise. You should see what he can do with his killing knife. Don't forget to write back, maybe get me the Moon Man's autograph when you've got a minute to spare. Okay. Reed Thompson's dead. Letters from Edgewater 3 of 3. Cousin Dan, Reed stopped giving out the stuff. Law, dang it. If I can't get Adrena time from him, that makes you my only source. Don't you effing string me along. Can't work, can't sleep, can't even think straight. Give it over. Send me everything you've got now, please. Also, are they hiring? That is from Edgewater 2 of 3, Dear Cousin Dan. Adrena time really leaves you wanting more, doesn't it? We got through the first batch fast, but lo and behold, Reed gave us more. In recognition of our exemplary work, ethic, and unwavering brand loyalty. How about that? Still no letter from you? I've been feeling a tad queasy lately, but I'm sure a little Adrena time is just what I need to shake it off. Write me back. How's the sunsets and Gorgon? Do you get sunsets? Okay, so Adrena time is addictive. Reed Thompson stopped giving them out because the Gorgon fallout happened. Engraved flask. The engraving reads, Jerome, cheers to the beginning of forever, love Leonora. It smells of decent whiskey, cheap cologne, and old cigarettes. Okay, found it. Bit cartridge. Yeah, Leonora said that Jerome switched his ticket for Leonora, right? Or was I? Or was it a different person? Story. I forgot Leonora's story. Why Jerome got left behind while Leonora is here. I think it was him who switched his ticket, right? I'm not sure. Okay. Don't want accidental explosion, so I'll just destroy it.
This is my second month on Adrena time. It's like the color came back. Like I was tuned to the wrong band all this time, and now the static's gone. I'm finally clear-headed, focused. There's so much I'm excited to do. I feel like me again. Side effects? I guess I've noticed people staring at me a lot more lately. Hard to talk to them sometimes. Feels like they don't get it. Maybe they just don't trust it. Or maybe they don't trust me.
Okay, girls, let's take a rest here, okay? We need to get some rest. Well, obviously, Aldervaris is the captain. She's going to take this bed. You girls can lie down somewhere on the floor, or maybe you girls can find other beds in the other units. Okay. Let's meet up later. Okay, girls.